Good morning and Jai Swaminarayan to all. Today for standard 9th science in physics portion we are going to start a new chapter, chapter 9, force and laws of motion. The topics that we are going to cover today is overview and balanced and unbalanced force. So let's start with the overview. As previously you all have studied that motion of an object in a straight line in terms of position, velocity and acceleration. The motion can be uniform also and non-uniform also. The question arises that how motion is done, what are the causes of motion, what will be the speed of object with respect to times and many more. So today we are going to look after such questions. First of all, in order to occur a motion with an object, say this is our object. Now if we want have this in motion, we have to apply a literal force. So it will move from here to here. So force is the key behind motion of a stationary object. But another thing is, whenever we push, pull or hit something, the amount of force applied, the object will go up till that distance and then it will stop. So we can say that the natural position or natural state of any object is stationary. In order to move that object, we have to apply some amount of force. Suppose this is a chalk. Now I amount some force, so it will go up to this. But if I push this chalk with more force, the chalk will fall down. So the movement or the distance covered by our object will be dependent on our force which we have applied to the particular object. Pushing, hitting and pulling of object are always bringing the object in motion. So the main thing behind the motion of an object is the force that is applied by us or any other object, mainly muscular force. Now some of the examples are like when you go for shopping, you use trolley. So when you push the trolley will start moving, means the trolley is in motion. Similarly, the drawer, when you pull the drawer will come out. Another example is a sponge. So when you push a sponge, the size of sponge will be decreased. So that is also a type of motion. So this was the overview that what is the cause behind the motion, which is force. Now we will see balanced and unbalanced force. So in order to know that what is balanced and unbalanced force, let us take an example. There is a table and this is our object. Tie two strings on left and right of the object, means on opposite side of an object. Now when we pull the string X, the object will move to left side, and when we pull the string Y, the object will move towards the right side. So when we apply a force and when we pull the object will start moving. So when one side is pulling, another side is not doing anything. So it is called an unbalanced force, means only one person is forcing and another person is standing still. But when both the person applies same amount of force and start pulling from their side, the object will not move. That is when X applies suppose some amount of force and Y also applies the same amount of force that X is applying. So the force on both the side of an object will be equal, and when the force on both the side will be equal, the object will not move, it will be here only. But when X increases force, suppose X and Q, two persons are pulling this string and there is only one person here, so the force of this side will be more than this side and hence the object will move left side. So whenever the force of any one side is more than another side, the object will move, and this is the unbalanced force. But when the forces on both the side will be equal, the object will not move, and this is balanced force. So we can say that an object can be in motion when unbalanced force is applied to it. Let us take another example. Here there is a box on a rough surface. Now two children are trying to pushing the box but they are not applying much amount of force, and when they are not applying much amount of force and forces the box on this side, there will be the friction between the bottom of the box and the floor, and the friction will be opposite side of pushing the box, so the friction will not move this box in the direction the children are pushing. But when they apply some another force, as they apply some more force, the friction also increases and still the box is not moved. But when the children apply maximum amount of force, then the force of pushing the box will be more than the friction of box and the box will move. So this is the another concept where when we are pushing any object that is lying on the floor, it creates the friction between the bottom of that object and floor, and until when the friction and when the force is less than the friction, the object will not move. But when the force applied to the object increased and the friction is decreased, then the object will move. So this was the concept of friction and force. Now another example is a bicycle. When you are driving a bicycle, up till when you pedal, your bicycle will be moving with a uniform speed. But when you stop pedaling, the bicycle will slow down, as the friction between the tires and the floor, the friction will be more than the pedaling force. So in order to keep bicycle in uniform speed, or in order to keep the speed of bicycle, we have to continue pedaling the bicycle. But it does not say that always unbalanced force is used to keep any object in motion. Whenever any object is in uniform speed, means the speed of the bicycle or a car or any object is equals to the friction of a plane surface, the object will move in a uniform speed. So we can say that not always unbalanced force is required to keep an object in motion. We can also use balanced force, which will have a uniform speed for that object for moving. Now if the force is removed completely, suppose you are driving a car with more speed rather than you drive it, as we know our economy is 40 km per hour, but if you are driving the car in more speed, let's say 80 km, then the speed will be greater than the friction, and when you apply brake, the car will go some further distance. So this further distance is covered by the velocity of more speed of car, which it has achieved by applying more speed. So this was it for today. We covered the overview and balanced and unbalanced force. Balanced force means applying force is equal both the side, while unbalanced force means keeping more force on one side and less force on another side. So this was it for today. Next topic we will cover in next session. Thank you.